Kaja, and as well as Sanford, he's going to get his Yuzong, of course. Very standard picks all across the board. But now we see the Beatrix as well as the Grok, which begs the question here. Are they looking to try and shut down Benny QT?
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, you now have a shot at Echo, right? They can pick up the marksman right now. But, okay, it's a Harith. Well, instead of like picking up a hardcore marksman, hard carrying marksman for Benny QT, they put in the Harith. Although it's a hard carry still, right? If you think about it. But then again, it's a more mid-tempo kind of marksman or gold laner, which kind of tells me that this is the time where Echo will pick up a hero for Carl Tizzy that will scale into the late game.
Yeah, I just don't like, the only thing I don't like about Harith is really if you have a bad start, it's shut down for pretty much the entirety of the game. And it's so hard to get that scalability in comparison to what we've seen with Beatrix, which is so weird because going back to the group stage, she had an abysmal win rate. It was like 25, 30%. But now you see teams, I feel like a switch has been flipped with Beatrix in particular, especially in the hands of Skylar. And going back to the key to victory for RRQ, if it ain't broke, just pick Grok.
Don't fix it. Don't bother fixing it. And I think, it's really good that Echo didn't fall for the fact of, hey, Grok is flexible and therefore we should expect him in a couple of these positions. They're focusing down on the main issue, which is Vin. And Vin has been having a stellar performance throughout M4 for a good amount of time. And even RRQ giving a lot of respect to Sanji as well, banning out that Valentina, making sure that he's not going to have that many flexible options when it does come down to the dive. Which begs the question, Far Mist, question mark, should they ban it out here?
I guess because they are considering picking it up themselves. That's probably why they will not be banning it out. I'm looking at the past matches of RQ Hoshi. They do pick it up when they have a Grok. They combo Faramis and Grok to go up against something like a Harith or a marksman, a hard marksman.
Curveball, what about Kadita?
I love it. It's one of my personal favorites. It also looks good for the side of RQ Hoshi. It fits the bill of what they want to achieve, right? It's a very RRQ-ish hero. You can also give that to Echo, though. But at this kind of draft, maybe the Kadita will not be considered by Echo themselves. Oh, Barretts.
Okay, so Carl Tizzy opting for that utility jungle route, focused on the objectives. We've seen a lot of this, right? And I mean, at the same time, it is still a safe hero because of the fact that you can kind of brute force your way into those objectives. You have that immune to CC for a little bit. You got the Daytona's welcome. And still, this is a lot of pick-off potential because it's highlighted with the Kaja, but still, can they capitalize on those kills? Because even across the board, they're going to be fighting in the death box. They're going to have to deal with wild charges from angles that they're not expecting. And if Skylar can come online on this Beatrix like we've seen him before, it is a lot of work for Echo here.
How about a Martis for Albert for RQ Hoshi? Then they just have to utilize this Grok on the XP lane, get another a roamer that can help them suppress this Kaja. And there's the Martis.
Yeah, but we're also seeing a Lapu Lapu as well, which does mean that Vin will have access to that Grok as the support. He needs to make sure that when he's playing around Yaoi, he doesn't get caught himself, which is something that he's able to do. And there we go. That's the Kadita that we were expecting to see coming in from Echo. Nicely done, boys, here up at the desk.
Man, it's weird to see that both Kaja and Kadita picked up in one team, but there's a lot of -1 potential coming out from Echo. Really what they want to play with. Is it a double down, right? Is it too much for having both Kadita and Kaja? We're not so sure, but we might see that.
That's a great point, because honestly, if you already use the Divine Judgment, and if the rough waves are gone, you lose a lot in both categories, right? A lot of pick-off potential, a lot of firepower even. So you almost have to 100% guarantee that you get that numbers advantage if you're Echo here, because if it doesn't play in your favor, then that's going to be bad news for Echo and better for RRQ here as they get ready to go.
Oh, this is such a stressful game here. I can't imagine what it's going to be like. Hopefully you guys are going to be sticking around because you won't want to miss a second of this. Let's jump right into it.
Into the land of dawn we go. The last chance for Indonesia to make it to the grand finals. And it starts now.
We're going to see Vin is going to be controlling that Grok. So this is a roam Grok, and then the Lapu Lapu will be the ones to fight against the Yu Zhang. We've seen it before. The Lapu Lapu can win against the Yu Zhang. See Echo with early game comp. Can they actually close this one out before RRQ scales?
I personally think that they absolutely can, but it really depends on that momentum at the end of the day. What Vin is chill. Oh, he's holding back the waves again. For the second round of it. Okay, interesting. Usually it's just dedicated to one lane, but now we're seeing Yawi trying to go up to help Benny QT out to try and make sure that Skylar doesn't get too far ahead or at least holds that control.
Yeah, I mean, you're relying a lot once again here for Skylar to just kind of pop off mid to late game. That's going to be crucial for them. And at the same time, RRQ's got to avoid all of those picks that Echo's going to be looking for. And if anything, the fact that you have two Petrifies to work against, you've got to really be conscious of that, right? In those lockdown moments, because, I mean, even here, Sanford are going to be just fine. But again, going back to the point, especially when objectives are being contested, the angles from Sanford with the Black Dragon form and even looking out for Sanji is always something the teams going against a Kadita have to work for. It's a constant, pretty much mind game for both of these teams.
See the focus coming out from RQ Hoshi. Make sure that the laning stage is good for their side. Even when they're not really putting a lot of effort into the gold lane, the fact that they're controlling the minion wave so that it will be in the favor of Skylar, that's already them saying we want to make sure that the laning stage is ours.
All right, well, first turtle now up here. You're going to see everybody in position for this as it's crucial for their momentum. Carl-Tzy going to start it up.
Yep, Black Dragon form already jumping into the back line. Is Carl-Tzy in trouble as R7's already done it, but he secures it, and Lapu Lapu ensures first blood. Albert now trying to get on out of the situation, and finally Yawi hits level 4. Divine Judgment has already been connected, and they have to back off. It's a 2-for-1 trade.
A massive win coming out from Echo, despite them losing a Carl-Tzy. They got 2 kills afterwards, and then the turtle. They gave so much XP as well to Echo. That means that Echo will be in a very comfortable spot. We said the laning stage, the early game should be for Echo, and that's what they are now getting.
Oh, Skylar now losing his flicker as well. Purple buff under threat by Yawi. He doesn't have his all, but Kadita on the opposite side of the map looking to make sure they hold and playing for EXP here.
Oh, he just took it.
That's the worst feeling in the world. Truly losing your purple buff this early on. Man.
Yeah, tough situation there. I mean, you know, Yawi... Oh, Vin!
Wild Charge already connected onto Benny QTs. He's trying to get on out of there. Yawi unable to punish for the time, it being Albert is there. So now the rest of Echo is going to start backing off, but a majority of Echo's numbers on the bottom side of the map. We're seeing R7 actually committing to this fight, forcing out. Didn't see that Petrify. He's still good.
Rank number 1, internal secure, but I would have, I want to say top lane, you saw Vin commit the wall charge. Want to go for Benecutie? They didn't even force the Purify onto Benecutie because they missed that wild charge. It wasn't able to knock the hand off.
Oh, the combination was clean. Sanford sets it up. Sanji knocks it out of the park. And here comes Albert. Can he turn this around? Black Dragon form and get on out of there to ensure that the Decimate doesn't pick him off.
You know you're happy when you're playing the Yuzhong and you can just do that, right? You play it a little bit dangerous, a little risky, and you just go ahead and pop the Dragon form and fly off on the map. Works great, but at the same time, you notice Yawi spending a lot of time here on the top side. The focus is Skylar. Vin's there to help him up, but right now, numbers advantage should be even out. Albert also getting wind of this, just in the area, just in case. Now Turtle's up here. You're gonna see both teams swing into position, and once again, does Echo secure this next objective?
Well, let's find out here. Watchon comes through, but then Tono's walk finds it. Yawi flickers forward, finds one, instantly taken out Beatrix straight away. Skylar can't do much about it, and Albert finds one, can he chain it into 2? Yes, he can. Benny QT with the Salmon Force gets on out there, doesn't want to be a part of that.
Well, beautiful start for Echo. You saw that they were able to snag Skylar. That was one great ultimate coming up from Yawi, then Sanji with the damage. However, Albert finding the opening, he kind of conceded the turtle control for them to take more kills. That's the reason why they have taken some gold away from Echo, and despite them losing that turtle fight, it kind of felt like RQ is starting to feel that they can equalize this game.
RQ knows that they have a disadvantage when it comes to those areas of objective takes, those neutral objectives, right? Especially because you can't expect to just get Carl-Tzy out of there. He's playing the Barretts for a reason. So if you can actually just stay alive, no one goes down, convert into kills, especially on, let's say, Skylar Albert, you're going to profit big time. Hold on.
Oh, he doesn't land the ult. He manages to flicker out just in time there, but Sanji is in position. Do they know that he's even there? Albert, he might be in some trouble. Full combination. No, he doesn't commit to it. Sanji decides to walk away. Wild Charge connects onto Benny QT. Snipe comes through. Benny QT still alive. And Yaoi making sure he has vision. Carl TZ to back him up to ensure no dives are going to happen, but Sanji is creeping up back into the tri-brush here. Do they know? Is he going to find his connection? No, sees Albert. It's just not worth his time. Even we're seeing Benny QT just holding on to that lane, and Sanford walking up mid.
War of attrition. It's the battle for territories now for both teams. They just want to make sure that there's no team that will have the advantage up top where the gold laners are. And this is massive focus for both teams. They know what the win conditions are. Whoever gets the better farm in the gold lane will have a better shot in the mid game.
Well, something doesn't seem right here. Bottom side actually getting fully dogged on, and that's what we want to see. R7 goes down. They command the map, and now the turtle is in full control over Echo as the reinforcements are on their way. Cartesi is playing it as slow as he can. As soon he'll have to pump the Daytona's welcome. Yaoi finds it once again. Clay flickers on out of there, but Sanford should be able to find the kill. It lands onto 2. Albert is on his way out. Sanji gets the knock up, and Vin, unable to do anything, must walk away.
You see what's going on here, right? It's all angles that you have to watch out for if you're RRQ here. It's either Sanford come from the backside, Sanji popping out of nowhere, and it's tough for RRQ to handle right now. They're trying to constantly catch their breath, but at this time it's already falling apart. You're almost 4K ahead here for Echo.
Yeah. You saw like Yaoi in the first turtle fight, he went from the right side. This time he went from the left side, catching RRQ off guard. But my oh my, Echo with a wonderful smart outplay or outwit of RRQ during the turtle fight. That second turtle, they delayed the take of the turtle so that they will have the advantage in the team fight.
And topside already crushed, as well as mid-tier 1. Sanford here, knowing that he can disrespect the space. He has a level lead, and I think, you know, Skylar, with the rest of RRQ, might be in some trouble here as the rest of Echo pulls their attention and resources down to the bottom side of the map. Vin has to walk on out, but Carl TZ and as well as Yaoi start taking the space into the bottom side jungle here. They have to move away. They cannot do anything about this.
Oh man, you can already see it. Look at the pressure, right? I mean, knowing that Yaoi's there on that Kaja, Sanji and Sanford were waiting patiently too. They just completely press RQ off that tier 1, and they're able to secure themselves some more space on the map here, Wolf.
Ah, massive map control from Echo. Even Carl TZ just running around 1v5.
Oh, he gets knocked up here. Full combination onto Carl TZ so far. He now uses the Daytona's welcome. Decimate lands, but it doesn't matter as Sanji finds his own target into Clay. They trade 1 for 1 for now jungler for mid lane.
Skylar's just amazing. I mean, all throughout the day, right? You saw him perform in their series against Onyx Esports. Now he's performing once again. Despite him dying once, you saw how masterful he is with a sniper as well, dealing out the damage against Carl TZ. But definitely we said, Carl TZ, way too brave. 1v5, not gonna work out for him.
Well, honestly, as of right now, I feel like Echo, and especially when we're looking at Carl TZ, now that he's switched his role, he's not looking to hard carry this game. He's looking to be the foundation for the rest of his team members to actually step up. And Sanford Yaoi is looking really good, but Sanji in particular, just the control that he has.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, at this point, Carl TZ, especially when he plays these utility-type junglers, he's more of that, you know, it seems like the shot caller and just is that vision for the team for everybody else to shine here. And sometimes we see those moments even for RRQ, but right now, again, with momentum being a big thing in most of these games, Echo having control here, it's going to be really tough for RRQ to contest this first Lord. You also got a glimpse of the item. Skylar, I think, only has VOD unless he picked up a second one, but able to get the top side turret some more space, but Sanford's up there, and the fight ensues.
It's a 4v4, the top side, hopefully we don't see, the solo kill already connects onto Skylar. Benny QT now zoning out the rest of them. Nothing that RRQ can really do now that Sanford's coming back to make the numbers in their favor. 4v5 doesn't seem ideal, but it's instantly, we're seeing the Divine Judgment lock down 1. 5 members against 3. Sanford now getting in front of Albert as Yaoi is disrespecting R7, trying to make something happen here. The Bravest Warrior gets locked up. Albert gets locked down, but he still manages to get on out. Sanford is still alive, but now the backline is done for. R7 is the next to fall. A 2-for-1 trade, maybe even one more. Benny QT unable to find it.
what a play coming out from Carl TZ, just snagging one of the members of RQ to save his teammates as well. And he even utilized the Daytona's welcome onto his opponent so that they'll land the double stun. Unfortunately, Echo weren't able to kill up Albert, but they did take out the Lord, and now they're controlling the purple buff as well. Echo with the economic advantage.
Well, right now you can see that advantage, how confident it makes Echo. And even just like you said, Carl TZ walking around 1 versus 5, he doesn't really care at this point. So, I mean, Wolf, what does RQ need to do to get back into this game? It's 5K ahead for Echo.
Well, they have to concede the control to the map control now for Echo. Just utilize Albert or maybe R7 to kind of split push the waves and allow for Skylar and Clay to just farm the incoming waves. So it's going to be totally defensive now for RQ Hoshi. Echo's power spike is literally right now mid-game. They have to respect that.
Yep, Sanford coming in. Yawi finds the catch once again. Good spatial awareness, and the outer turret will fall as Echo now with a five-man pushing into the inhibitors against 4. RRQ playing hyper defensively. Albert has to clear these waves so far. But we see on the bot side, even Carl TZ doesn't mind, proxies the wave, and that's going to be every single outer turret, very systematic coming out of Echo.
It's going to be difficult for RQ to defend this, especially when Yawi's just finding all of these openings. Yawi already has gotten a fleeting time. That means that from here on out, you're always afraid of Yawi. Like every 30 or every minute, I mean, there's a threat of the Divine Judgment one shot.
I mean, just at this point, slowly whittling down the base here of RRQ. Echo knowing that they're in full control at this point. And this is, again, referring back to the series we saw with Blacklist International, this is what Echo does, right? When they have this lead, they don't let go.
Oh, the wild charge connects, but Yawi was able to get his animation off in time, and now Sanford coming in with the Black Dragon form, looking to try and get a punish here. Echo find nothing, but with the 7K lead, RRQ do not want to get in that.
My goodness, even just the plans of RQ, it's not even working at this point. This is because of the fact that Echo does have the map control, but you have to respect that for RQ. Wanna just farm. Echo though, they're doing the lane freeze so that they force out. They're like smoking out the members of RQ, get out of their base by freezing the minion waves.
Well, I mean, that's again, going back to this whole point, like you have Grok. Yes, it was a key to victory. If it ain't broke, you know, keep picking Grok. But this time, Vin hasn't been able to find the targets he wants to, but let's say he does. What damage do you have to throw at Echo right now? You know, I think Clay and Skylar both have a couple items, but it's still hard to get through that front line, and even if you do, you've got every other angle to worry about, right? And Sanji so far, 6-0-3, rocking the Petrify here, can most likely one combo everybody from RQ, except maybe Vin and Albert, right? R7 is even in quite a bit of danger with this Lapu Lapu pick. So now, next Lord up here, Echo. Oh,
Vin, he finds 2 with the real one manipulation comes on down. They find one pick like you were talking about, Sanji. No time to react in time, and now our RQ are in position to maybe hit a Lord here. Let's see how they play out, because Albert might be in some trouble. Yawi is again threatening him with the Divine Retribution. Carl TZ getting zoned out for now, but he's really far ahead of the team. Yawi once again looking at Albert's positioning. Albert making sure that he doesn't get locked down for the time being. R7 looking for something against Sanford here, but the same goes for Albert. He's got to be so careful as the mid wave gets pushed in. We see Skylar get locked down, but Yawi, the counter engagement. Sanford now looking to punish the backline instantly. They find Skylar, no flicker for him. Albert's trying to run Vin with a wild charge to make it out of there, and once again, the economic advantage from Echo still puts them ahead.
I definitely agree with you, Gideon. It's just the items that allowed Echo to really just hammer to like a bantering ram against RQ Hoshi, but also the dive potential. Even after they were able to take out Sanji, there's still Yawi, there's still Sanford. So many heroes that can go to the backlines, and Skylar only does have 1 dash and 1 flicker. It wasn't enough to keep himself alive during that skirmish. Echo now wins the economic battle.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Even if you expend all those resources from RRQ to find one member of Echo, at this point in the game, it's not going to be enough. They have to figure out how to stall the game further, allow Skylar, allow Clay to get the items they need, and then those sets from Vin will result in 2 more. Winning those team fights, winning those even skirmishes, if they can get 2 down from Echo, 3 down maybe, is much better. But as this game progresses, it's 9K ahead for Echo, and it's showing here as the Lord marches the mid.
This is going to be a guaranteed inhibitor, but topside is collapsing at the same time. R7 is trying to slow it down, but now the engagement happens, and immediately Sanford with the Black Dragon Ball with the help of Salmon Force, the back line getting attacked by R7, but it really doesn't matter here as the shot residue keeps Sanford alive. Immediately, we see Skylar fall once again, and that is going to be that. Wait, hold on, Yawi, they're trapped. They're locked in there. They can't seem to be getting out of here with the barrier already down. Yeah, Benny QT jumps into Salmon Force once again to finally turn this fight around. They're phasing through everybody, and R7 is just looking helplessly. R7 tries with the Bravest Warrior, but the rest of them are looking to end this game. Kaltizi is walking backwards with Sanji as well. Doesn't want to jump in. It's too threatening. As Divine Judgment comes on through, Knockup connects. Rough Wave's not going to be committed. Daytona's welcome. Throws him against the turnstile, and that is going to be game number 1 for Echo.
First blood drawn here by Echo. And again, a very strong fashion. We've seen it before in previous series. RRQ struggling to hold on in this game 1.
Honestly, GG, well played to Echo. That was just a slow burner, but you could just feel the suffocation coming out from RRQ.
You saw the moment they got control of the early stages, the moment they got the first blood, they continued to go on. They made sure that the XP lane was also being destroyed by the Sanji and Sanford combination, double petrified between the Yuzhong as well as the Kadita. They made sure that R7 will not have good amount of farm in the early stages, which kind of means that R7 will not have an influence in the mid game, which they kind of needed. Skylar needed the farm. They weren't able to give him because the XP lane in there was also shut down.
You just saw, I mean, across the board, again, the boxes being checked here all around from Echo. And even though it looked like there was moments where RRQ could hold out a little bit longer,